Whew. Good evening and welcome to Bedtime Stories, the show designed with the lovers in mind, where we put you to bed but never to sleep with the greatest love songs of all time on WOSD Radio DB Chicago, WDLB Indianapolis and Chicago, as well as WRLNradio.com. It is your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer, officially checking in. Also officially checking in, Queen Deborah and Trish. They are the first two in the chat room tonight on Facebook. And I appreciate you guys, gals, ladies, women's. Thank you so much for being on there. And for all the rest of the people who are on their way, I appreciate you as well. Lady G, always a pleasure. Glad you liked last night's tribute to the Spinners, one of her favorite groups. She said, "You snapped last night on VON." I'm like, thank you very much. You know, like I said, one of her favorite groups. So you can't play a bad Spinner song. You just can't. Hello to Latanya Lynn Garrett, aka Miss Hollywood. All these ladies, thank you so much. Makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. Coming up in our last hour, we do a little thing we call foreplay. 4 songs by one of your favorite artists or groups, male or female, right here on the big radio broadcast as we kick it off with my daddy, the big bad maestro himself, Barry White, and put me in your mix. Right on. You saw me where at the Chosen Few picnic, did you? Yep, I was there. I finally got the my wristband off. This is the yeah. I was trying not to tear it up, but unfortunately, that's what happened. So, but play Cameo. You got it. Cameo coming up. But I had said I wasn't going back to the Chosen Few picnic because it became too commercial or commercialized. Um, it used to be a gathering of people, and we'd bring our own tents and everything else, or canopies or whatever. But all that stuff was provided, so you didn't have to bring anything. Just bring your coolers, Bring your chicken, bring your liquor, yeah, ice buckets, and that whole thing. So, all of that has been, I guess, upgraded from the way it used to be. But yeah, BB Winans was there. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get close enough to him. When BB was on, I was in the VIP tent, so I never got a chance to actually, uh, get close to him. But it was great. It was fantastic. Like one guy said, Russell Baker. He said it was epic, and that's the only word that I could think of to describe it. It was definitely epic. How all those people got together, nobody got hurt. Nobody got hurt. Everybody had a great time. There were no casualties. Nobody, you know, carried any pistols or anything. Well, some of them probably had their pistols on them, but didn't need to use them. But it was once again, it was epic. All those people got together and nobody got hurt. Uh, Al Greer supposedly found Aretha Franklin's will in his couch. Yeah, I sure did. I wish I did. And if I did, I wish my name was on it or something like that. So, but the Chosen Few picnic, yeah. Deflux Streams, how's it going? It's going great. Thank you for being on my live. I appreciate you. Yeah, no tragedy struck. Yeah, at all. Are you going next year? Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going in support of my brothers, uh, Wayne, Jesse, Kirk Townsend. I recently just met Alan King. I knew the Hatchet brothers from back in the day, um, but and Mike Dunn and Terry Hunter and all those guys. So I'll try to find you next time. Okay, cool, cool. Yeah, I was backstage, and somebody said, "Oh, somebody always has something slick to say about me, right?" Oh, you were backstage. Well, backstage was $200. I didn't have to pay. Like I said, I went in support of Wayne and Jesse and Andre and Terry and Mike Dunn and all of them. I went in support of them, Kurt Townsend, all of them. And, I had two VIPs and one backstage. And I didn't, I'd asked for them. I didn't know, I thought I was going to get, general admission. And I didn't know that, you know, it was that much. So, but back in the day, we didn't, there was no charge. We just come in, you know, with our tents and our hay and everything else, and that was it. Yeah. And, hey, Pam. Dr. Ron said you didn't call me. Well, first of all, Dr. Ron, you don't like crowds, and it was tens of thousands of people out there. Excuse me. You told me that you weren't going anywhere until this pandemic was totally over. You know, Dr. Ron will be the last one to walk out of his house, and all of us will be gone. You're like, what happened to civilization? It'd be all over with. So, yo, Angie, yo, no, that would have been a wasted call to you, Dr. Ron, because I know you don't do crowds. And, some people, some of them still haven't been vaccinated. So, but it was a wonderful gathering. Um, Troy said he's rewatching the docu-series investigating Malcolm X. Three other speakers were scheduled to go on before him, and none of them showed up. Well, that was a setup, right? That was a show enough setup. So that was a straight up setup. But oh, you were with the notations that night. Unfortunately, I couldn't be. I couldn't be everywhere. I was with Theo Huff, Samana Ackland, and somebody else who performed, Latanya Hughes, and that was at the ETA Theater over there in South Chicago. So, yeah, I couldn't be everywhere, but I did go to the picnic, and I did go to the ETA Theater. It was Theo's birthday, so But I didn't even remember that the notations were performing that night. Like I said, I couldn't be everywhere. I tried to be, you know. I tried to go as far as the Batmobile would take me. And by Sunday, I was out of money. Speaking of which, thank you to all that donated to me. I really appreciate that. And I mean, I really appreciate that. Thank you to Pam. Thank you to Phyllis, Pat Westbrook. Thank you so much to Trisha. Everybody who, I had enough money to get a bowl of noodles for $2.19 for lunch. On top of that, one of my coworkers, Atiba Buchanan, he donated. And I had to thank him today when he came to work. He said, I totally forgot, brother. I was like, okay. And on top of that, he gave me his lunch. I'm like, see, y'all gonna make me cry. Atiba gave me his lunch. It was 2 chicken wings and some fries. So when I left work, I had enough to get 6 more wings and some more fries. So I was, yeah. So, but, once again, thank you to those who donated to me. I sharing is caring. Thank you. But, sometimes it's like, I've always been the one to give out money to people. I don't want to name any names, but they know who they are, and I've given them money. And one always teases me. He's like, yeah, I'm going to pay you your money back. I said, yeah, I know. I said, as long as I'm alive, you ain't going to pay me. You might be able to pay me when I'm dead, and I won't even know it, but, But, yeah, when I woke up this morning, I had about $60 in my account. I was like, oh. I get a little emotional, I was able to put gas in the car, in the Batmobile, as I call it, and to make it to work and everything. So once again, thank you, Pat, Pam, Trish, Phyllis. Thank you so much. And and it's just Tuesday. I got a few more days to go before payday. And the cool thing about it is when I get paid this Friday, I get paid from 2 of my jobs. back to back. So, you know, I hate to sound like, I'm shaking my can and, standing under Laura Wacker, but, you know, it, it's been one of those weeks. I hate to start off the week with a zero balance in my account. I did get some money on Sunday because, as you all know or may not know, I play drums in church. Yeah, I know. Lucifer on the drums. Yeah, give it up. Lucifer Morningstar, ladies and gentlemen, on the drum. Yes, yeah. So, but anyway, can I ask what is your profession? You need to get yourself a raise. Well, thank you. My profession. I'm in radio, what I'm doing right now. Um, you had your sign, "We'll dance for money." Yeah, yeah. But I've done radio for over 40 years, and you know I've had money, and then I've haven't, and then I didn't have money. So it's like been up and down. So if I'd been smarter, I'd have gone away to school and you know and lived somewhere down south or something where it was a lot cheaper. But I decided to stay in Chicago, and I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did. Two in a row from the maestro, Barry White. Barry White's Baby Blues and You, right here on Bedtime Stories. The show designed with the lovers in mind, where we put you to bed but never to sleep with the greatest love songs of all time. Dr. Ron said, how come you didn't call me about the Chosen Few picnic? Because I know you don't like crowds, brother. So I knew that you were not going to come. So there was no need to drag you up there with tens of thousands of people who might breathe on you. So that's it. I know you weren't going to come because you don't like crowds. I got to personally thank everybody for your donations last night and this morning. To Pat, to Pam, to Trish, to Phyllis Malloy Bender, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys. Like we say, it ain't over yet. It's just Tuesday. So thank you so much. And for those who know me, I'm usually the lender, not the borrower. I'm always giving out money to people. I mean, you can ask Lady G. I'm the one that's always doling out money to people. Hey, brother, can you spare a dime? And I send 3 dimes. It's always been like that for me. I've always had extra and, a little stash here and there. But yes, we've all been there, but God always makes a way. And absolutely, He made a way this time because Monday I had no money in my account. But, I'm good. I'm good now. I know I can make it until Friday now. I got, not even a full tank of gas, but it's not even, it's about a quarter of a tank of gas, which is good for me because I got a little car. So anyway, on the weekends, I'll be rolling on the weekends because I get paid, and then I get paid. So hi ho, it's off to work I go. For Miss Hollywood, here's the first of 2 in a row from Cameo. This is Feel Me on Bedtime Stories. Yep, got to get that dough. Got to get that money. Got to get that money. But, like I said, I was always the one giving out money to people. You know, like what you need, what you need. Hey, Trisha, you know, yeah. And, it's been rough. When you're by yourself, You know, I mean, you all may or may not know my story. I bopped around for like maybe 6 or 7 years, from house to house, from couch to couch. I've lived in Dalton, Cal City, Park Forest, um, a senior home, sleeping on somebody's not couch, but love seat, balled up on a love seat. I lived in an apartment that I shouldn't have been in. That the apartment was condemned, but the guy rented it out to me anyway because he sublet it to me. So I was paying him $500, and in turn he was paying his rent with that money. So stuff happens. I came home one day. There was a big old nail in the door with a green sign said, "Hey, do not trespass." So I could tell you some stories that would break your heart, but I'm like Job. I never cursed God for anything that had happened to me. You know, getting kicked out, getting run out, and just being out. I never gave up my faith. I always would say before I went to bed, I may not have said a full prayer, but I put my hand up, this one, and I say thank you. And I wake up in the morning and I say thank you. And that's it. You know, may not need a full prayer, but sometimes just to say thank you. I have, before I had a raggedy truck, and the truck used to break down every other week. And the mechanic used to hate to see me coming. The headlights went out on the truck. Uh, the wheel came off one time. I was driving and the wheel came off on the driver's side. I should have been gone. I should have lost control of that truck, but I did not, because God is my co-pilot, and he guided me somewhere where I could park that truck and the next day call a mechanic and a tow truck to get it fixed. It cost me about $700 to have it fixed, because it, not just the tire came off, but the lugs was still attached to it. I should have been gone. I should have lost control of that truck and crashed, but I didn't. It wasn't my time. It wasn't my time. So, a few years ago, I got a new car back in 2020, a brand new car. I ain't never had no brand new car nowhere. And I got a brand new car. Unfortunately, my finances would not allow me to keep up the note, and they took it. A few months later, I bought a van for $300, had it fixed up by my good friend Percy. A few months after that, I got a car that this lady said, "Give me $1,000 for this car." I said, "Okay." What year is it? It's like a '03 or something like that. Toyota Solera. She said it's got highway miles on it and all that stuff. I said, "But what's wrong with it?" She said, "Well, it was overheating, and it was spitting out smoke and this, that, and the other." I said, "Okay, I got a story." So the car went from being $1,000 to $800 to $400, and finally she just said, "Al, just give me $1 for this car because you're gonna need some work on it." I said, "$1?" I said, "Here you go." And I reached in my pocket. I gave her $1. A few weeks later, I met her at the DMV. We did the deal. And she's been asking me, "How's the car running?" I said, "It's running like a scalded dog." My partner changed the oil in it. We put another battery in it. I had my other mechanic to look at the car. He said he looked up at me. He said, "Brother Greer," he looked out from under the hood. He said, "Brother Greer, how much you pay for this car?" I said, $1. He said, "Man, you lucked up. This year car runs for like $3,000 used or more. A two-door Toyota Solera." He said, "This car could run forever. All you got to do is just change the oil in it, put gas in it. Don't hit no potholes. Drive like you got some sense." I said, "Okay." My mechanic's name is Al, by the way. I got two mechanics, Al and Percy. So I was like, "Okay." He said, "All you need to do is just drive this car, put it on the road, blow it out, because it's been sitting up. So the the oil's got to circulate to the back." I said, "Oh, okay." Car's been running ever since. So yeah, it's oh, you said 4K? Really? That much? And I paid $1 for it. The other day I was on my way to church, right? And this lady pulled up next to me. Same car, except hers was a drop top. And I'm in the zone. And I looked, she looked at me, I looked at her, I was like, yep. The only difference was my top was on and her top was down. I had my sunroof open. I ain't never had no car with no sunroof. So news reports say police are looking for an elderly black man driving a Toyota Solera wearing assless chaps near the playground in Inglewood. You funny, Troy. You funny. But I just have to say that, that's my testimony. And God is good. I don't care what you all say. Like I said, I never cursed God. I was like Job. I was steadfast. I lost everything. Everything. And I used to, I remember I was living I had a studio, not a studio apartment, but a studio and an office. So I would sleep in my office. I'd wake up and do my show, on 79th and East End. I was paying rent there. My rent was between the two, it was $425. It was $200 for one side and $250 for the other. And I was, Lady G will tell you, I was living in there. They told me I couldn't stay there, so I had to leave. I had a futon that I slept on. I had a TV that I got from Rent-A-Center. Somebody gave me a desk. I had a computer in there, which is probably still in there. I went to the secondhand store and bought 2 more tables and desks, and I just built my own studio. It was great. It was fantastic. And we had people, they would come down, celebrities and stuff, and they just thought it was just so great. So when I say I've been blessed, and then I got behind in my rent because I wasn't working. Mr. Redmond, what's going on? I got behind in my rent. And it was around the anniversary that I moved in. Gene Chandler came. He said, "How much you need?" I said, "How many, months are you behind in your rent?" And I told him. He said, what if I just write you a check?" I said, you what? Ever since then, he's been Uncle Gene. He wrote me a check. I paid the rent, and I got to sleep there a few more months. So that's it. Lawana, what's going on? Two in a row from Cameo from Miss Hollywood, right here on Bedtime Stories. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Thank you so much for being on my live. To Lady G, to Lydell Redmond, aka Mr. Hypnotic. Also to Deflux Streams, who's listening to me right now on Twitch. I appreciate you guys. And of course, you too, Troy. Once again, thanking everyone who sent their donations to me. I feel like Jerry Lewis now. You know, it's like for Jerry's kids, but this time it's just for me. You know, and I've always said that if I get enough money, then I'll start giving out money. Well, I gave out too much money. That's what happened. You know, my daughter hits me up. My son hits me up. You know, I just give out money because I know at the end of this journey, I can't take it with me. I've never seen a Brinks truck follow anybody to the cemetery and say, hey, just drop this in the ground with them. You know, your money's no good where you're going. Trust me. It'll either get rejected or burnt up, depending on where you're going. Anyway, once again, thank you, Pam, Pat, Trish, and Phyllis Malloy Bender. I appreciate you guys really so much. You know, it was breath of fresh air. What can I say? It's Bedtime Stories. My name is Dr. Al Greer, also known as your peanut butter brother. Here's Dexter Wanzel, along with MFSB and the Jones Girls. The Sweetest Pain on Bedtime Stories. Yeah. Got to put some money into the 401k. Oh, that money's gone. When I was working for Kennedy King, I had a 401k, and unfortunately, when I got, they let me go there because of something that I, had done. So I pulled that money down, and I was going to buy a house. This is when I was married to my first wife, right? And something told me, don't get this house. Don't get the house. I looked at a house over on 101st and State and one on King Drive. It was like a basement type deal, like what do they call them? But anyway, it was a house in the basement. George Henderson, what's going on, sir? And something told me, don't get it. Don't get it. And I didn't. My real estate person was my first wife's auntie. And I confided in her auntie. I said, yeah, don't tell her, but I got the money. She went and told her that I had the money, right? And my then wife confronted me and said, why didn't you tell me you got the money? I said, and I thought about it. I was like, I only told one person, and that was her auntie. It's like, okay. So, needless to say, I I broke up with her. All the time thinking that she was on my side. How many people know that You know, uh, some people are out for themselves. Had I bought that house and had I not been able to pay the bills in that house, and my wife would have divorced me and she would have gotten that house. So I was smart. I didn't buy the house. I just wasn't smart enough to keep the money from her. So all that time I took the money and, you know, tried to find somewhere else to live. Ended up losing my apartment. And I think I found, yeah, and I found another apartment. So this was on 78th and Constance. Yeah. Russell Baker, Shake and Bake. So I stayed there for a while, and then I hooked up with my second wife, and ended up giving that apartment to um, one of my students. He needed a place to stay. I said, "Well, you're welcome to stay on my couch, you know, sleep on my couch, whatever." So one thing led to another. I ended up moving out, and I said, "Just keep the rent up. They won't know that I'm gone." Well, one day they found out that I wasn't there. So, but he never missed paying the rent, so they didn't know one way or the other and didn't care. All they cared was that I wasn't there, and I signed over the apartment to him. His name was Roger, and Roger kept that apartment. He kept it up. I left everything that was in that apartment to him. My Sony TV, my bed with the television in the foot of the bed. Yeah, and all the furniture. I left it to him. You know, I wanted him to be comfortable, and that was it. So, you know, that's just the kind of guy I am. You know, for almost uh, for almost a year, I slept on my second wife's couch until I made me a bed in her basement, and that was it. I bought a couch to sleep on. So, yep, that's it. So, you know, your stories are cooler than mine. Well, thank you. Yep. Oh, by the way, guys, um, Deflux, I had a house. I had a whole house, but somebody else is living in that house. So that's it. But Pam said, keep putting God in your life and keep going like I do. And that's just it. That's just it. You know, if you put God first, you'll never be last. And I live by that. You know, everybody has a saying. If you put God first in your life, then you'll never be last. You know, I always worried about, um, you know, finances and stuff to the point where I couldn't sleep at night, wondering how I was going to pay the rent. Like rent was due what last week. Um, I didn't have the full amount. So I reached out to my landlord. I said, I have $750. Can I send this to you? And then the balance on Friday when I get paid. He agreed to it. Who's going to turn down $750? Nobody that I know of. So I sent that money. Hey, Queen. So I sent the money. And I ate noodles all week. $2.19 a bowl. I ate noodles all week. I already put gas in my car the week before. I filled it up. And that was it. But so so that was it. So yeah. So needless to say, I slept at my baby mama's house. I slept in the basement of my cousin's house. I slept on not even a couch, a love seat. You know, to the point where when I sleep balled up and I sleep on one side of the doggone bed because I can't uncurl. You know, for sure I need a raise. No, I probably need another job. Need a part-time job. I have a full-time and a part-time. So, but working is what I do. I work for a living, and that's it. So, yeah, you did give me. You said I already got 12 jobs. Yeah, yeah. Luther Vandross, Cheryl Lynn, If This World Were Mine, originally done by Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. This is Bedtime Stories, the show designed with the lovers in mind, where we put you to bed but never to sleep with the greatest love songs of all time. Luana wants to know, am I still at the River Oak store? I had to give it up because I kept getting gigs on Saturday working with a gentleman by the name of Antone. He has like daytime gigs where he needed me to either MC or DJ or do both. So I didn't want to keep calling off. You know, anytime I want to go back, I guess I could. But, um, that was like my fifth or sixth job that I had, and they paid cash, which was cool. Anyway, yeah. Hi ho, hi ho. I owe, so it's off to work I go. Anyway, it's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer, with Dionne Warwick. I'll never love this way again on Bedtime Stories. And, my fantasy made them all come true. Let's see, camera. You know damn well I can't see that. That's right, yeah. There we go. All the good is gone. By the way, hello to Michelle Caruso. Naturally. I'll never love this way again. Have you used chat? What is that? Guitar Mike, what's going on? It's gone. Excuse me, I'll be right back. George Henderson, what's going on? Woo! Moving slow so I can move some more. I know that's right. What is that? Ask it a music fact. Okay, interesting. Well, since I, and I hate saying this, but as a music historian, uh, most music facts are in my head. I just got lucky. When I was a kid, I used to read album covers while the records were playing, and I pretty much remembered everything that I've ever read. So I could probably tell you, who played on what studio was made in. I can listen to songs and tell what studios they were made in. All the Philly stuff sounds alike. All of the Stax stuff sounds alike. Um, all of the Chicago music sounds alike because of the strings. If you listen to the Shawlights and the Independents, and you know, they're all made in this one studio, which is Universal Studio, downtown on 46 East Walton. All the Ohio Players songs were recorded here in Chicago at Paragon Studio on Huron. So, yeah, I was a nerd. When I say I was a nerd, it was like all I did was read music, stay in the library, you know, honing my skill, I guess you could say. River Oak Store probably would have you come back perhaps 2 Saturdays a month or on another day. Saturday would probably be the only day that I could work, and you know, and I probably could go back. It seems though my sister is the manager of the store, so I'm sure she wouldn't mind me coming back. So, uh, after she, you know, basically bent over backwards to get me hired, and then I couldn't do it anymore. But I think anytime I walk in, I could just start working, and that's it. You go back and get on payroll. So, but um, I enjoyed working there because I could be incognito until a commercial would come on, and they say, "You sound like the guy on the commercial." I'm like, really? So but I wouldn't mind because I got to see all the new clothes that were coming out and stuff. So that was cool. Yeah, that was real cool. You know, And, of course, I had a ball there. I hadn't worked in a mall in years. The last mall I worked in was Evergreen Plaza Mall. And, you know, fellas, you know how cool it is to work in a mall, right? Yeah. Yeah. I remember I worked at Genghis Formal Wear in Evergreen Plaza. And needless to say, I got my share of, you know, I got my share. Trust and believe. Oh, trust and believe. So, you know, I got my, I guess you could say I got my rollout when I was working in the plaza. So, you know, and then a few years ago, I worked at River Oaks selling bootleg CDs until they shut us down for selling bootleg CDs. But and by the way, I'm going to be on another station, 99 Jams is going to pick up my bedtime story show. So that makes 4 stations. Ooh, I love me some Vesta. Man, you couldn't tell me nothing. I said I was going to marry Vesta one day. Some of us in the business, we think, hey, since we're in the business, hey, we should be in the business together. So at one point, I thought I would be Vesta's boyfriend. What was I thinking? I don't know. She didn't want me. I don't know. Maybe she did. I don't know. But every time she would come to Chicago, I would want to hang out with her. And unfortunately, wasn't able to. But Vesta was my girl. Yes. And Phyllis Hyman. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, there's my daughter. Hey, Bree. But yeah, those that know me, you know how I felt about Phyllis. When Phyllis died, man, I must have cried for weeks. I cried for weeks. I was just no good. People were calling me and giving me condolences. They said, "Oh, I'm sorry about your wife." Tom Joyner always said that Gladys was his wife, and each one of them had a radio wife. And my radio wife was Phyllis, and my mistress was Vesta. I swear. Here's Johnny Guitar Watson on Bedtime Stories. Thinking about the first time I saw you, baby, baby. Breathe. But yes, I'm going to be on another Mustaf Alrod Emi. Yeah, okay. Mustaf. How do you come up with this stuff, Troy? You just, yeah. You just bored as hell, aren't you? But yeah, I love you too, Bree. Um, ooh, there's a television show possibility for you as if you're interested in doing a video show. Ooh, ooh, that mean more money? Yes, it does. Okay. Mm. She said, "Don't hang up on me. Don't hang up on me. Don't hang up on me. I will never hang up on my hung up on my daughter. She was at my job in 10 minutes. I'm like, somebody looked up at the monitor and said, "You expecting company?" I looked like, "Oh, it's my daughter." Well, we're leaving now. Like, dang, y'all just gonna leave me like that? Okay, all right. See, I mean, they they scattered like roaches, boy. Like somebody had turned on the lights and everybody left me. I'm like, oh, okay. Anyway, but I'm going to be on another station, 99 Jams. Chrissy Henderson, her husband Hugo Hutchinson, they've invited me to join their station. Right now, they have Will Downing and Angela Stribling, so they're going to add to that roster. So I said, she said, I don't know what you're doing with your station, but we'd like you. I said, sis, just tell me where to be. You know, right? Normally they linger, yeah, but you know, you know how fickle radio is, and I could use all the, visibility that I could get in my old age. So shut up, Troy. So so I'm like, where would you like me to be and what time? So she said, they got Will Downing and they got Angela Stribling. For those of you who remember watching BET, Angela Stribling does a radio show. And if you've ever heard, let's see, who can I compare it to? Darlene Hill. They've got that voice. So, yep. But anyway, what you say, bring old age? Yeah. But my thing is, and I've always said this, I'm in better shape than my dad was at this age. He was just in the backyard sitting, drinking water or juice or whatever. Yeah. So ginger ale. That was his drink of choice after he stopped drinking liquor, you know. But I said I was going to keep myself in shape. So far so good. But I think what keeps me going is I work with younger people. So it's like, I can't get old around them. They keep me sleepy. But anyway, excuse me. The late Johnny Guitar Watson. I want to tie you, baby. Thank you for being mine. To Peanut Butter Brother, Dr. Al Greer. Hello to Ronnie, also to Lady G, who's going to bed now. Deflux Streams, and of course, the one and only, the only one, Ronnie. Thanks for being on my Facebook Live. I appreciate it. As well as Deflux Streams, who is watching me on Twitch right now. So, what do you do for a living? I'm like, exactly what I'm doing right now. Talking to myself in a 3.5 box. Anyway, Bedtime Stories is sponsored by our good friends over at Grubhub. But Grubhub is a proud sponsor of Bedtime Stories here on WOSD Radio DB Chicago, WDLB Indianapolis and Chicago, as well as WRLNradio.com, and soon to be 99 Jams. I'm looking forward to that. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. This is Bedtime Stories, the show designed with the lovers in mind, where we put you to bed but never to sleep with the greatest love songs of all time. Deflux Stream says, yeah, you mentioned you had more than one job. They're all in radio. You know, I work for WVON, where I'm the production director and host of the nightly show called The B-Sides, which airs at midnight Central Standard Time. I'm here at my own radio station, which is WOSDradio.com, as well as WBGX 1570 AM, which is a gospel station where I'm a producer and engineer, as well as the voice of the station. I do all the imaging for that station. So everything that I do is in radio. And of course, on the weekends, I DJ wedding receptions, family reunions, class reunions, and birthday parties, stepper sets, dusties, old school. That's what I do. Yep. If it has something to do with me playing some music, that's what I do. So that's been my whole career for the past, I don't even want to say, 40 years. Yeah, 40 years and counting. Here's the first of two in a row from The Whispers on Bedtime Stories. Yep. 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 Wedding DJ is it's where it's at, I feel. Mm-hmm. But yes, I've been doing mobile DJing for quite a while. So it's been pretty lucrative. As oh yeah, and I do voiceovers for different stations as well. So and radio and TV commercials. So that's what I do. That's what I do, and that's who I am. If it involves music or me using my voice, that's what I do. But I only get paid when I DJ. I only get paid when the commercial gets done. Um, sometimes I make anywhere between $800 and $1,500 to do commercials. A few years ago, I was the voice of Tecate Beer. Tecate, we are bold, and that netted me $3,500, non-union. So I was rolling back then, boy. So, but and once again, um, I get paid when after the job is done. Um, I audition for commercials. As a matter of fact, I got an audition that I got the other day for Grandpa for a video game. So I'm hoping that I'll get that as well. So, but that's what I do. But in between time, I'm doling out money, and it's like, oops, wait a minute, let me get that dollar back. So right now I have a whole dollar in my pocket, but once again, I'm between blessings, I'll say. So, um, but money wise, I do well when I'm rolling. When I'm really rolling, when I have, um, a DJ gig every weekend, which pays anywhere between, 500 to $1,000, depending on how far I got to go or whatever. So, you know, but um, that's about it. You know, so I'm not broke. I'm just, I'm not MC Hammer broke. So, like, are we broke? Are we MC Hammer broke? MC Hammer broke. Oh no! That line is from White Girls with the Wayans brothers. So, yeah. And the ads obviously worked since Tecate is the 83rd best-selling beer in Chicago, right now behind Slits and Moose Urine. Yes, absolutely. The equipment game for wedding is like we can really charge. Yes, provide a unique service. Absolutely. And which I have for the past few years. I started off with an amp, a couple of speakers, a couple of turntables, and that was it. You know, beefed it up to lights and everything else. So it has. Oh, Martha Stewart broke. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. But like I said, I've really never worried about it too much. You know, money comes and money goes. It comes more than it goes. This is just one of those weeks where it's gone. So, you know, I like I said, I um, don't even worry about it anymore because I know it's coming. You just have to get to it. It's like when you have your GPS on, you're like, okay, I'm about an hour away from, you know, getting a windfall. So that's it. I don't particularly worry about that anymore. I used to. I would stay up nights worrying about, man, I can't wait till payday. You know, back in the day, payday would never come, but these days, you know, you know. But I have a brother who does sound, and whenever he can't do a gig, he passes it on to me. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. He said, I got one for you next week. I said, okay, you're gonna need a generator. This time put some gas in it. I'm like, all right, smarty. I just know what to put on it and what not to put on it. So, you know. But yeah, smarty. But it's always the luck of the draw. Somebody will call me and ask me, to DJ for them, and sometimes I have to, put my price down sometimes. You know, I jack it up for some people and then jack it back down for those who can afford me. But when I tell them, they're like, "Oh my God, what do you do for that type of money?" I'm like, "Play music." Are links allowed? I guess they are. Yeah, no one's stopping you. Keep linking it up. Link it up. Link in logs if you want to. But I advertise my services on social media, and that's how I get gigs. That's it. So yes, I do see all the links that you're sending. Yes, absolutely. and I appreciate it. And if anyone is interested in going to your links, I'm sure that they will. Yeah, I see all of them coming through. Yeah. Mhm. But some people, they advertise on different social media platforms. I just advertise myself on my radio stations that I work for, and that's it. I have a commercial for AG Entertainment, and that's it. Call me now. You know, yeah. So once again, anything that has anything to do with music or radio, that's what I do. Do drops for DJs. You're in the mix with so and so, DJ so and so. So that's what I do. Two in a row from the Whispers. It just gets better with time. It's Bedtime Stories with your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Once again, hello to D Flux. He's advertising his business on my page, which is cool. I don't mind. I have an uncle. He does, stepper sets. And some people, when you come to their sets, they pass out pluggers for their parties. Well, my uncle doesn't mind. He'll read the plugger. He will promote their party, even if it's on the same day that he's throwing a party or he's DJing a party. I said, wow, that is kind of cool. He said, yeah, they come in and they do their thing and I do my thing. And it gives them a choice of where they want to go. And that's it. He said, but 9 times out of 10, they're going to come to my party. I said, oh, okay. All right, Uncle Sam. Hello to Lawana Trailer. How did you like the house music event? Like Shake and Bake said earlier, it was epic. It was wonderful. It was a great gathering of people, and nobody wanted to fight. Nobody wanted to. I mean, not a weapon was pulled. There were no fights. There was just house music being played, and just love all over the place. The only thing was missing was a preacher. I tell you, Kanye should have been there, right? Yeah. From GI, Gary, Indiana. Here's Denise Williams on Bedtime Stories. They should do that at the polls. I know that's right. Yeah. Do. But yep, Uncle Sam would let them pass out their pluggers, their flyers at his sets, and he wouldn't mind. Some DJs, don't be passing that stuff out at my party. I'm like, they're gonna decide who they're gonna party with anyway. Each DJ is like the, what they call the flavor of the month. So it is what it is. So yeah, I never, I think that's just, it is what it is. People are going to decide where they want to party. And there's really nothing you can do about it. They used to put flyers on cars. They put every car in the parking lot would have a flyer on it, and that's it. That's what they do. That's especially at somebody else's set who's more popular than they are. It's always a race. They used to put these posters on all of the telephone poles and the light poles and all that stuff. So they came out with an ordinance to say you couldn't do that. And it was all because of Sam Chapman. He would have them everywhere. Even before social media, there was always a plugger. Sam Chapman at the dungeon. Sam Chapman at this place. Sam Chapman, like, and it worked. This was all before social media. Now, he don't have to leave the house. He doesn't have to pass out pluggers if he doesn't want to. He can just do it on his radio show, pass out a few pluggers wherever he's DJing, and mention where he's going to be the next time he DJs. Less work. He used to have a team of people that passed out pluggers and put those signs or those posters on the light poles. He had a team of people. Didn't need them anymore. So, yeah. Especially when we left Mr. G's. I know, right? He used to have a purse full of pluggers. I know that's right. You know, they'd be all over the cars, everywhere. Everywhere. So, you know, you walk out the party, right? And it'd be like a whole bunch of pluggers. You know, pluggers just everywhere. You know, or they would hand them to you in the club, and then you come out and you have the same plugger on your car. You know, but those were the days, boy. Those were the days, boy. I tell you. You know, cars would be flooded. You'd go out in the parking lot, and every car had a plugger on it. Thanks to Sam Chapman. Yeah, get every car in the parking lot. Like, dang, huh? I even worked for him for a while. I was like, man, he had me out in the rain. I said, oh, I can't, you know. He said, I said, you know when you put the pluggers on the car and the car is raining, it's going to stick. He said, yeah. He said, yeah. I'm like, you wanted to stick to that? Yeah. You know, they really have to pull it off then, you know. And it'd be like stuck to their windshield for a week. It's like, you're evil, Unc. I'm like, wow. Yeah. Put them on there. I don't care. Put it on there. Mm-hmm. Put them on those cars. Nowadays, I see some on my car. I think I have a ticket. I know, right? Mm-mm. I know the feeling. And like I said, especially when it rained, it would just stick there. Be stuck on your car. I'm glad you asked me that, Al. The best bubblegum flavors of all time are raspberry. What? What are you talking about, Troy? No, don't smoke your own supply, Troy. It's not good. Just the two. Just the two of us. You and you and get it together. Just the two of us. Mm-mm. You and nope. Professionally, man. Bill Withers, Wilton Felder, just the two of us, right here on Bedtime Story. I think that's all of the Crusaders featuring Bill Withers, just the two of us, right here on Bedtime Stories. Deflux Stream says, have you ever thought about doing live streaming professionally? I thought I was doing it right now, but maybe I'm not. I don't know. Maybe I'm not doing it on your level, but yeah, I've been doing it professionally for, let's see. I started back in the day when it was still Ustream, Ustream.tv. I still have several channels on Ustream, but Ustream morphed into StreamYard. So, yeah, I've been doing that for quite a while. So, I think I was probably one of the first ones to do it because that was back before, they had the ads coming up right in the middle of your video. I was on Ustream.tv and I was doing this show here. And then somebody else asked me, how are you doing that? I said, well, I'm plugging directly into my computer and, from my mixer. And the music goes to the computer and then it streams. And then I stick a camera on there and then they can see me. And that was some 20 years ago. So I had people like my buddy Wayne Fields, my brother who passed, he did it. And had a following. Vic the Diz, he did it and had a following. My nephew, L Genius, he did it and he had a following. So, I like to think I got them started because they asked me, well, how are you doing that? I'm like, well, hey, that's it. That's how I do it. I always keep a USB camera handy, right? Your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. This is Bedtime Stories with the first of two in a row from Chicago's own Emotions on Bedtime Stories. Yeah. 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 But anything that I do that I'm doing, I think, pretty much that I'm doing it professionally. I like to think that I'm doing it professionally. I may not be. I don't know. I may not be doing it professionally. I might just be doing it as a hobby, which is how I got started doing, uh, the whole DJ thing. I started off, anybody who wanted me to DJ, you know. Um, as a matter of fact, I remember when I was younger, and we had a block club party, and I volunteered to DJ for free. I think I got $75 for it, and I DJ'd out in the front of my house, which was the dumbest thing that I could have come up with. We had these poles and the little lamp poles, and they had like a plug in it. I said, well, I could plug it up to there, and I could sit out in the front of the house and, put my speakers out there. Dumbest thing I could have done. Why? How many people know when the sun comes out and it hits a record, it warps the record? If the record is not spinning, it will warp the record. I didn't think about that. So when it got hot, it got around maybe 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. That's when the sun was just beaming down on my little pea brain, and the records were just, you know, it's like I should have set up on the porch. Wasn't thinking, but anyway, yeah. But you live and you learn. So I went through a whole bunch of records, boy. And you know how many people know once the record is warped, it's pretty much gone. You know, in order to play it, you have to put a penny on the needle, and that's it. So, yep. Once that sun hit that record, boy, that was pretty much it. Thank God for CDs because they go right in the machine and they don't see any sunlight until they come out. So that was it. But never really thought about it. I didn't think that through. Speakers sounded really good. You know, I tweaked the speakers and built a tweeter box to put on top of these speakers that I'd gotten out of the school. You know, I built what was called a tweeter array. It had like four piezo horns. You know, those are the big things there. And I wired them and I put them in this little box, and it was sounding great. And that sun hit them records, boy. It was like, ooh, 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 ooh. I'm like, dang it. But that was so long ago, so long ago, in a galaxy far, far away. But I um, really had a ball doing that. You know, back in the day, you know, I was a I was a nerdy kid, so the whole DJing was kind of like my coming out. So when I got a chance to do that, it was like my coming out party, I guess you could say. You know, so that was it. That was that. And I became, and I looked at it this way: if I did a block club party, it was like free advertising, because somebody's gonna walk past and say, "Hey, would you DJ my party? Do you do this for a living?" You know. And at that time, I did it as you know, uh, it was a hobby. Deflux, thank you so much for staying. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Tell your friends to check us out on Twitch. I heard I could make some money on Twitch. Recorded at Stack Studios in Memphis. Show me how from the emotions right here on Bedtime Stories. The show designed with the lovers in mind, where we put you to bed but never to sleep with the greatest love songs of all time. In about a half an hour from now, we do foreplay. If you guys have an artist in mind that you want me to spotlight tonight, just let me know. I'm happy to do so. Anyway, it's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. This is a song that came out. Uh, it was actually done by one person. He did all the instrumentation, and the next day he called his band to come in. He said, "Here, I want you to hear a little something that I did, and see if you guys want to, put your vocals to it." And they heard it. It was like, "This is weird. Where'd you get that beat from? What kind of?" It became a number one R&B hit. M2 Juicy Fruit on Bedtime Stories. Ooh, pardon me. Pardon me. Yep. Raid you out on Twitch and at the end to other streamers. Okay, cool. Yep. Hook me up. Hook me up. Oh, yeah. Right. You said. And keep me sizzling. What time they do. It's me, Yo Angie. Yes, and I talked to her, and I text her. I told her to get back with me with a list of music because I know they're not going to hear my kind of music. I told her to get back with me with a list of music because I know they're not going to hear no old school. Yeah. Okay. Well, the old school I can handle, but the new stuff, the cussing and all that stuff, I don't have that, but I can find it. Yeah. I don't do well with the young folks' music, so yeah. But yeah, we talked. So she's gonna get back with me and send me a deposit by the end of the week. She said, "Yeah, Aura, right? Yep, Aura Jenkins. Okay, all right. Thanks. Bye bye. Kiki, what's up? Kiki, my brother, my brother. And I still want that jacket, man, that you wore at Kim's party. That jacket was nice. It was nice. It was nice. It's something I would wear, man. It's cool. Dip 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 dip. Do 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 do. Hello to 40 regular. I'll take it. Shoot, I'll lose weight. I think I'm a 42 or 44 regular, I think. Yeah. I used to be a 40 regular. I could wear all the suits that were on the rack at in the suit shop. And then I got, you know, I blew up. Because I remember when I worked at Genghis and Evergreen Plaza, all of the mannequins had the 40 regulars on them. So if I had a gig to do, I would take the tux off the mannequin, press the pants, put a hem in the pants, and I would wear it and bring it back the next day and put it back on the mannequin. My boss didn't care because were not the ones that they would rent. The only time they would rent that one was if it was the last one in the store and somebody just happened to be a 40 regular. Then you'd send it to the cleaners, bring it back, and then rent it out to them. So, has anyone heard Philip Bailey's song "Easy Lover" with some Frank Collins guy? Philip is going to be huge, and this Collins guy will be a nobody. I know, right? Frank Collins. How about Phil Collins? But anyway, interesting. Frank Collins, yes. Philip Bailey, Phil Collins, Easy Lover. I love that intro. It is just, Phil is killing it, boy. Bam, dum 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 da da. Bam. Yeah. I remember watching this video on Phil Collins of how he came up with the drum fill for "In the Air Tonight." It just came to him. Like, I'm like, do you know that's the most iconic drum fill in every song? I mean, everybody does it. It's like they wait for that part. So stranger to you and me. They even featured it in the movie, and Mike Tyson was doing it. He said, "Wait a minute, wait a minute. Here got my part. Yeah, yeah. I can feel it coming in the air at night." I still don't know what that song is about. Feel what coming in the air tonight? Maybe Troy, you can break it down because you're much smarter than I am. But I still don't understand what the song is about. I can feel it. I still remember. I remember. Don't worry. I remember the first time, the last time we ever met. Man. Like, okay, what's this song about? A third grader playing the drums could have come up with that drum beat. Oh no! His manager was a guy by the name of Don Cornelius. The song, originally done by the Four Tops, "Still Waters Run Deep" by O'Brien Burnett II, right here on Bedtime Stories with your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. I could go on with stories about that song and about O'Brien, and you know, I was watching something on YouTube that said Mr. Cornelius wanted to have relations with Mr. O'Brien, and he refused, so therefore he blackballed him, never to appear on Soul Train or any other shows ever again. O'Brien's about 70 years old now and hasn't been on TV since he was in his 30s. Shame on you. But anyway, it's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. This is Bedtime Stories, the show designed with the lovers in mind, where we put you to bed, but never to sleep. The greatest love songs of all time. In about 21 minutes, we're going to do foreplay. I still don't have a foreplay artist, but I'll just come up with somebody because I normally do. This artist that we're about to hear is a producer, a session drummer, a jazz fusion drummer. And he has produced everybody from, let's say, Stephanie Mills, people like that. Did a couple of tracks on Whitney back in the day. But back in the day when he thought he wanted to sing, he did a couple of albums where he did actually sing and play drums. Here's Narada Michael Walden. This is Delightful on Bedtime Stories. Hello, Michelle Caruso. that the drowning victim survived and was after Phil Collins. Yeah. Doodle, 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 doodle. Oh. So, oh, delightful. So I was at one of those, you know, gum machines, right? And they had like a picture of, one of those stress balls and put 50 cents in it. And I went ahead and I did it. And it had the big capsule and everything else. The thing fell down and there was no stress ball in it. It was just a little bitty figurine that if my grandson had played with it, he probably would have swallowed it. I was like, nah, I think I'll pass. So I got stuck with it. Probably sitting in my car right now. Either that or I threw it away. I'm like, that's not what I wanted. That was not, you know, 50 cent well spent. It was just, I just threw away 50 cents. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. So it is what it is. But anyway, ah, let's see who else is still on my line. Let's see, Miss Walker, Guitar Mike, Queen Deborah, Chris Bates, what's going on? Brother Fahim, appreciate it. Assalamu alaikum. Appreciate you, man. I really do. And let's see, I got 5 on Facebook and 1 on Twitter. All right. And nobody on the other one. Which is the other one? YouTube. Nobody on YouTube. Oh, well. Anyway, guess I'm going to have to skip YouTube next time. Oh, well. And the reason I have Dirty Grandpa under my name, I saw the movie with Robert De Niro, Dirty Grandpa. That movie was hilarious. Robert De Niro as, doing jokes and stuff. Oh, it was, and that's just it. He didn't have to tell any jokes. It was because it was De Niro. It was just so bad. Pardon me. Excuse me. Pardon me. Yeah. De Niro is just funny without, it's just, you don't expect De Niro to do stuff. It's like the grandson came over and De Niro was, masturbating to some porn. You don't expect that, this is, this is Guido. This is, you wasn't expecting that, but yeah, he was, choking his chicken. I think that's what made it so funny. It's like De Niro, it's like watching, Pesci could have been in that movie, And what the fuck are you looking at? Ah, like you've never seen somebody, yeah. So, yes, really, Trish, really, 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 really. Anyway. And you don't expect De Niro to be sitting there in his Chase Lounger whacking off to some porn. That's what made it really funny. It's like, He's usually whacking some guy. No, he's whacking himself. And that's what made it really funny. It may not be funny to you. You might be totally appalled by now. So, yeah, sorry. In my own warped mind. That's like if my grandson came in and saw me, he's like, Papa, what are you doing? What are you doing? Hey, it's what I've been doing for the past 7, 8 years or more. Uh-oh. It seemed like every time I got a girlfriend, it just, you know, things were okay for a while, and then after that, it was, oh, back to porn. Hey, I missed you guys. I missed you all. Where have you been? Oh, you've been in my phone. Okay, good. Thank goodness I don't have that problem anymore. I clean now, Mr. Greer. Yes, you clean now, Maria. Yes, clean now. Yeah. Dust it off a little bit. Thanks. Hey, if Arnold can do it, I can't. I can do it too. Arnold slept with the housekeeper, and the kid looked just like him. He's just a Hispanic Arnold Schwarzenegger. How do you say I'll be back in Spanish? And he's an actor. And he looks just like his dad. None of the other kids look like Maria, like, long faces. Did you ever ask Maria if she took R.B. Grieve's letter to his wife? Take a letter, Maria, address it to my wife. Send a copy to my lawyer. I love that song. I don't know. Now, see, it's going to be stuck in my head the rest of the night. You bastard. Anyway, yeah, take a letter, Maria, address it to my wife. Send a copy to my lawyer. I got a new life. Like, all right, RB, I'm sorry. He sounds so happy in the song. Take a letter, Maria, address it to my wife. Woo! Two in a row from Narada Michael Walden, Alone Without You, right here on Bedtime Stories. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. A few years ago, he produced an album of music on Phyllis Hyman. One of those songs was Why Did You Turn Me On, which I'm going to play before we go into the foreplay. Why did you turn me on? Why did you turn? And I'd forgotten that he did the song too. I'm like, wait a minute, that sounds so familiar. Of course, his version didn't chart, but hers did. Anyway, Troy is an idiot, I tell you. Did you ask Maria if she ever took R.B. Grieve's letter to his wife? That's such a happy song about, finding out that his wife was cheating. Send a letter, Maria, address it to my wife. Send a copy to my lawyer. I got a new life. I know that's right. I feel you, my brother. R.B. Grieves. And where are they now? There's no addition. Helplessly in love. Help me. Help me, please. Oh, help me. Somebody help me. So I guess nobody's sending me money tonight. I guess they're like, oh, you got enough money. Stop begging. No, you got enough money. Trish, Pat, Pam, and Phyllis. Yeah. So you got enough money. Stop begging. He the begging man. And of course, my coworker Atiba. I felt so stupid asking him, but then I saw his check. It's like, oh, he can afford $30 from me. Yeah, he can. They make way more than I make. You know, we make they make a salary. We get wage, but it's a good wage. I'm not gonna complain. Between the two radio stations that pay me and the one that sometimes pays me, you know, I I can't complain. I cannot complain. I used to do Williams and Pizza every weekend, and I worked there 2 days a week. I got $200 a night, cash money. And one night they said, "Well, we got another DJ coming in," and I said, "Okay, cool." And the next week they said, "Oh, we got another DJ coming in." I was like, "Okay," so I just stopped going. I'm like, "Y'all call me when you want me to come back," because it was that money that was paying the rent. The rest of the checks, I was just stacking that. I was stacking my chips, as it called. Man, that sounded like Donnie Simpson. I was stacking my chips. I'm Donnie Simpson. Did you miss me? Well, I'm back. Video Soul is back on the air. I'm Donnie Simpson. Yeah. Donnie was so cool, man, back in the day. It's your green-eyed monster, Donnie Simpson. You know, he always made a big deal out of him. I was like, I didn't see it. Well, I guess not. I mean, just didn't. Sorry, Donnie. You're all right, but yeah, which is why he's where he is and I'm where I am. Nowhere. Uncle Donnie, can I get a job, man? I carry your records. That's what I used to do for Herb Kent. I carried his records. I said, I'd lose my job, right? I'd go back work for Herb Kent with my tail between my legs. And I'm back. Oh no, you can't work for me anymore. Every time you work for me, you get a job, and I have to find somebody else to replace you. Because nobody could carry records like me. Nobody. Yeah. Nobody carried records like me. Carry your records, sir? Why, certainly. So Instagram has this new thing called threads. Like, okay, cool. Threads. It's just Instagram on steroids. I guess now they can do naked pictures. Like I need to see more nakedness. I'm good on that pimping, yeah. So I guess everybody who was on my Instagram is now on my threads. Threads. Yep. Everybody's on here. Yeah, I don't have to add anybody. It added everybody. I have one chicken wing left. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Woo! Thank you. Thank you, Jesus. The one day. One day. Produced by Narada Michael Walden. That is Phyllis Hyman. And why did you turn me on when you had no intentions of turning me out? It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer, adjusting my microphone so it doesn't fall on the board. Anyway, coming up in about 30 seconds, we're going to do foreplay. I finally figured out who I was going to do tonight. Last night I did Michael Henderson because, his birthday was last week. I did Phyllis Hyman, but it's hard to do Phyllis Hyman music, especially, when I was in love with her. It's really hard to do her music. So I found one that I won't cry over. Coming up in 30 seconds on Bedtime Stories. Grubhub is a proud sponsor of Bedtime Stories here on WOSD Radio DB Chicago, your home for old school and dusties. WDLB Indianapolis, the soundtrack, America's soundtrack. And of course, what's this other radio station? Oh, WRLN Radio. Hello to all of Ray Neal's people who listen to me because they're basically forced to. they are forced to because they listen to Ray. So, and then I come on, they're like, you mean we got to listen to this guy here? I tell you, this guy here. Anyway, it's time for foreplay. This group got their name because their harmony sounded like what they were named after. Grady Harmon, Lavelle Degree, Nicholas Caldwell, and this is from memory, guys. Marcus Houston, and of course the twins, Walter and Wallace Scott. Who are we talking about? You already know. Tonight we feature in foreplay the music of The Whispers, one of Atiba Buchanan's favorite groups. So why do they need two guys singing lead simultaneously in unison? Because it sounds really cool, Atiba. Healing. Boom, 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 ba-da. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, 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 ba. Candlelight and dinner. Yeah, sure. I do in the mood. This is what I do. Put you in the mood. Ooh, we're just strangers. Let's see. Games, map, solitaire settings, Play Store. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Ooh, we're just strangers. Love is where you find it. Who do we still have on the line besides Troy? Troy, yeah, that's what we have, Troy. Love is where you find it. If I close that door, I'll be dead on arrival. Reason. Girl. Losing my mind. Lemon pepper. Mmm. Whoever came up with lemon pepper was a genius. Lemon and pepper. Mmm. Not salt with lemon. That guy was a genius. Yeah, girl. Waka waka wee wee wee. Just like fresh air. Mm, mm, mm. What did I say? Yeah, girl. Kiss make it drive me crazy. Go nowhere. Upon your chin. Let me hear your heart beating. Leave your breast says. Greg Beasley, what's going on, sir? So there's been there's been a Jamie Foxx sighting. Like, wow. After all these, he went what, missing or in the hospital back in, what was it, January, February, and hasn't been seen since. All of a sudden, he turns up on a boat in the middle of Lake Michigan, waving to fans. In the words of the great Ricky Ricardo, Jimmy, you got some splaining to do. Where you been? Oh, it's so ridiculous. Where have you been? I'm sorry, but you know, I hate to say it. I really do. But did he disappear for a reason? They said he fell ill, he was in the hospital, and then all of these conspiracy theories that, the Illuminati was after him and the mafia was after him, and that he lost his eyesight and he was paralyzed and had to go to a rehabilitation. He rehabbed really good, didn't he? He rehabbed yeah. And my thing is, you know, maybe this was all a big hype job for his upcoming movie. I thought about that too. I thought about that too. And I'm just thinking he just I don't know. You say it's a big hype job for a movie he had coming out. Well, yeah, everybody's gonna want to see that movie now because we haven't seen Mr. Fox. So I'm actually, I'm actually happy that if, and that's just it. Is it really him? Because they said they had a stunt double to finish his movie. Could that have been the stunt double? Does that guy look? It's like Machiavelli. He faked his own death. I don't know. Tell me a bedtime story now. The Whispers and Say You. Wrapping up foreplay right here on Bedtime Stories with the Peanut Butter Brother, Dr. Al Greer. Coming up real soon, we're going to be on another radio station. It's as if 3 radio stations weren't enough. We're going to add a 4th one, and that's 99 Jams. And I'm looking forward to it, working with my sister from another mister, Chrissy Henderson, a.k.a. the First Lady. It's going to be it's going to be a blast. I tell you, I can't wait. It's going to be Anyway, it's going to be as my pastor says, like Campbell's soup. It's going to be good. Anyway, it's your Peanut Butter Brother, Dr. Al Greer. I'll see it when I see it. She also wants me to do some TV as well. I'm like, that'd be cool, Give me an opportunity to go get my teeth fixed so I can look good on camera. Instead of looking like a jack-o'-lantern. It's Cameo. The first of 2 in a row. This is Hanging Downtown. Something I like doing. Ladies, if you know what I mean. It's Bedtime Stories with the Peanut Butter Brother, Dr. Al Greer. Hanging Downtown. Yeah. to remove. Uh, uh. So, hey Trish. So my thing is, if that's really Jamie Foxx, where's he been? You know, why would he come to Chicago to hide? Why, of all places, you come to Chicago to hide, Jamie? What's really going on, Jamie? But once again, I am elated to see that he is, that he's actually back. I think everybody, you know, everybody was pulling for him. Speaking of which, I'll talk about that later. You didn't even know you were gone, so no. Okay. So I'm thinking, that he may have been hiding out here in Chicago for some strange reason. I don't know. You know. And it would be something if he became a resident of Chicago. This guy's from Texas, so it's warm all year round in Texas. So you can always go back to his other crib in Hollywood. But he's well received here in Chicago. He used to hang out here. Back in the day, he used to come up to GCI where I used to work and just hang out. You know, Lisa E, who has like everybody's number in her phone. I'm surprised that she didn't call him and put him on speakerphone. It's like, see, I told you, ain't nothing wrong with Jamie. Oh no. His daughter is both beautiful and very talented. Yes, absolutely. She is. She is, and on top of that, um, very loyal to her dad. She kept everything under wraps. Whatever was going on, you know, whatever was going on with her dad, she kept it under wraps. So, oh, he's just fine. He's playing pickleball or whatever. And I thought that was kind of cool. I think my daughter would be the same. You know, um, hmm. His daughter, yeah, his daughter's it, she handling things, you know. She is running things. That would be my daughter. That would be either Brianna or Larice. Be running things, you know. And who may I say is calling? No, my father isn't speaking to anyone right now. Would you like to leave a message? What is this pertaining to? My father's not taking any calls at this time. You know, I want somebody to handle the business, you know, like Jamie's daughter is, you know. Yeah. She definitely held it down. And excuse me. Definitely held it down all this time. She could have gone on social media and blasted everybody. She could have blasted everybody and said, "Shut up about my daddy. Shut up. Don't say another word." And she could have. She could have blasted everybody and said, "Look, don't say nothing about him." When he's ready to, when he's ready to talk, he'll be ready to talk. You know, and hey, I guess he's ready to talk now. Um, they said he was at a rehab center here in Chicago. That's all they were saying. That's it. He's in a rehab center here in Chicago, and he was playing pickleball. What the hell is a pickleball? I don't know, but that's what he was doing. Yeah, 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 yeah. Pickleball. Mhm. Shooting around from Cameo. That is Sparkle from 1975, 76, I think it was. Uh, could have been, yeah. I remember we did a thing at Mendel High School. It was one of the few times I got to DJ at Mendel. And the, we had a laser light show, and we played that song Sparkle, and we shot the laser light on the back wall of the gym at Mendel. It was so beautiful. and I remember it as vividly as it happened, yesterday or last night or night before last. It was beautiful. Mm-mm-mm. It was me and my buddy Daryl Eatmans. I have not said that name in years. Daryl and I, well, Daryl all by himself. Daryl could sell Chicago back to the Indians. Yes, he could sell. He, he could sell a car to a used car salesman. He was just that good. Um, he could sell air to a tire place. He was just that bad. You know. He said, "We're gonna have this laser light show. We're gonna do this and do that." I'm like, "Okay, cool." He said, one day you won't have to have any wires to your speakers. They'll be working remotely, and you'll be in the van sitting DJing. I'm like, you crazy? You always got to have wires coming from the speakers. Are you? Guess what? They have wireless speakers now. They call them Bluetooth. Daryl, you must have known. Now we got Bluetooth speakers. I'm like, no wires? Really, Daryl? Nah, that'll never happen. That'll never fly, bro. That'll never happen. Hear the whispers one more time. Baby, come home. I'm leaving the porch light on. You know the address. Oh, that's right. I moved, didn't I? Yeah. Nah. I'm like, Daryl, you don't know what you're talking about, man. Yeah, one day you won't even need no wire for the speakers. You just put the speakers in the club and DJ outside in the parking lot. I said, use a fool. Yeah, they call them Bluetooth speakers. It's like, wow. Wow. Bluetooth, huh? Yeah, okay. Mm-mm. Interesting, right? Mm. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Mm-mm. Woo-ha. Pickleball is a sport that is something of a mix between tennis, badminton, and table tennis. It's played with a whipple. It's played with a wiffle ball on a court with the same dimensions as a badminton court. Now, I never heard of pickleball. Now, well, I guess I have now. Okay, pickleball. Pickleball was invented in 1965 in Bainbridge Island, Washington. Congressman Joel Pritchard and his friends William Bell, really, and Barney McCollum returned from a game of golf and finding their children bored and inactive, decided to create a game that could occupy them. Having only a few badminton paddles and a disused court and a wiffle ball at their dispense, they began lobbing the ball across the net at each other. The game involved more than they played. Excuse me. And an activity that would keep their kids busy throughout the summer was born. Pickleball, an inexpensive sport to participate in and is played with a multitude of gyms, parks, community centers, schools, and athletic clubs. Pickleball. Hmm. The net and rules are similar to tennis with just a few adjustments. Because of its simple rules and straightforward style of play, it is increasingly popular with people of all ages and athletic abilities. Pickleball. So now you know. For those that didn't know before, now you know. Baby, baby. Pickleball. Ask for it by name. Why do they call it pickleball, not just table tennis, badminton, pickleball?
You're listening to Al Greer with Bedtime Stories.
Thank you for that information. Mm. And thus pickleball was born. Thank you. Thank you, Trish. Pickleball. Mm. And my thing is, why do they call it pickleball? You know, you have what is it? Table tennis. They call it table tennis. So pickleball could be table, small table tennis. I don't know. What do I know? Nothing. I know nothing. Uh-oh. I know what that means. Time to change the batteries or something. I don't know. Mm-mm. But thank you for that information, Trish. I'm like, the hell is pickleball? I know I keep going on about it, but can you buy the paddles at Toys R Us? Oh, that's right. There is no Toys R Us anymore. They had a good thing going for a while, you know. Jeffrey the giraffe. Why did they closed a lot of places, you know? Weeboats, Goldblatt, Zaire, Old Chicago. Why? Community. Community had these little, they had these bins, right? These big, barrels. And in one barrel, you had a bunch of left shoes, and then in the other barrel, you had a bunch of right shoes. So the whole thing was you had to find your size. It was the same with the underwear. They had a big bin of underwear out of the bag. So you had to find your size and, your color. You know, most of us, we just see the checks or white draws or whatever. So you had to find your size. And that was it. That was community. That was on 87th Street. Ah, those were the days, I tell you. I think I have a great business opportunity for you, selling things called calling cards. They save on long distance. Thank you, Troy. You're so silly, Troy. You're a silly man. Silly man. She was. Um, she was born Anna Mae Bullock. 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 Yeah, that's what I said. Bullock. Two people from Tina Turner right here on Bedtime Stories with the peanut butter brata. Winding down on the pickleball here. Let's see, what is it? What did Trish? You just have too much time on your hands. How pickleball got its name. In the summer of 1965, pickleball was founded by Joel Pritchard, Bill Bell, and Barney McCallum in Bainbridge Island, Washington. Within a few days, Joan Pritchard had come up with the name pickleball, a reference to the thrown together leftover non-starters of the pickle boat of crew races. Ladies and gentlemen, that is how pickleball got its name. So there you have it. See, you never know. You might learn something by watching me on Facebook. You might learn something every now and then. You might hear something that you didn't know before. Because I sure as hell didn't know anything about no pickleball. It's got nothing to do with cucumbers. Here's the first of two in a row from Enchantment on Bedtime Stories. Pickleball, pickleball. Should have thrown together leftover non-starters in the pickleball. And baby. Like I know pickleball. Fade away, baby. Hey, yeah. So now we know the origin of the pickleball. And thus pickleball was born in 1965. Your purchase now. Best I can. What is with this pickleball here? Yeah, yeah. Woo-hoo. Pickleball. Who knew, right? I got the munchies and want something, but don't know what. I have some ice cream, little girl. Have some ice cream. If you come over to my house, I can give you some ice cream. That sounded so creepy. That sounded creepy even to myself. Creepy. Mm-mm. Have my way. Ice cream, yes. I would, yes. Watch this, guys. I'll be blue. Mhm. I got the munchies for your ice cream. Ah! Thank you, Maria. Maria working late tonight. Mm, mm. On a day off, I know, right? Mm, 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 mm. Good morning. So silly. So silly. So silly. Mm. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Two in a row from Enchantment. Silly love song. Why must it be silly? I don't know. I don't. Why has it got to be a silly love song? Why can't it be a serious one like this one for Mint Condition? What man? What kind of man would I be? Boom. Mm, 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 mm. What kind of man would I be? Did the same. Mm. Mm, 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 mm. Oh, can't be faithful. I love that song. Stokely, mint condition, right here on Bedtime Stories. What kind of man would I be if I lived unfaithfully? What kind of girl would you be if you did the same? I don't know. Big ups to Jamie Foxx, wherever he is here in Chicago. Once again, Jamie, you got some explaining to do. I just want to know. I'm hoping that one day he'll just call WPON on the hotline and say, hey man, this is Jimmy Fox. You mean born Eric Marlin Bishop for real? Oh, you know me, man? Yeah. Okay. Anyway, big ups to Jamie Foxx and everybody who was on my live tonight. All you humans, including you, Troy, who is not human. Till next time, blue skies, green lights, and peace. Good night, sweet. And we're done here. Thank you so much. It's so much I have to turn off. Yeah. And Tits McGee. Let's not forget Tits McGee, who is still on vacation. Nighty night. Talk to you.